Go to you. Should the Nigerian government be afraid of any future protests since the SARS protest was not organized by anyone? And this protest, people just like, they felt like they've had enough. And they go out to protest and say, we don't want this anymore. We want something to change. That's exactly why the people went out, they flooded the street. But we knew that, okay, it comes a little bit violent, destructions and different type of things, but do you think that, the Nigerian government should be a little bit afraid of any future protests?
I think they have to because once you keep, my people used to say, I'm an evil man, so they used to say when you take something that belongs to a child and keep it up high above the height of the child, and you remain that way, the child is still there waiting for you to bring it down. And sometimes you will surely get tired and bring your hand down to the length or height the child can jump up to get up, then whatever you're holding. So I think the Nigerian government should be prepared for more uprising if they continue in their treacherous ways.
Yeah.
They should be prepared not just for protests anymore. They should be prepared for full-blown war.
Okay. On what scale? I'll go with you. No problem. I will not let you comment to it. Because if you comment to it, it's going to take much of our time. On what scale would you think that, not necessarily what you think, on what scale would you say that the Nigerian, when you base it on different lives, in different perspectives, on what scale would you say that the Nigerian, the protest, the ENDSARS protest, it started with an ENDSARS protest, but it turned out to be asking for better governance, equality, and different things, end of corruption, all these kind of things. So, on what scale will you allow me say that this protest has achieved its aim? Or does it at all?
I would say that this protest is a wake-up call, not only to Nigerian leadership, but to the whole of Africa, in the sense that it's an indication to the youth also in the various African countries. It's an awakening, making them understand that you can use the social media as a way of protest. And I would say that they've achieved, I don't want to grade it because it's an ongoing process, and if something doesn't end, it will not be prudent to grade it.
Yeah.
So until it ends.
But the protest in Nigeria is really to calm now. It is only part of the whole Europe and the whole world that the protest is still going on. But in Nigeria, it does not end. It is calm, but it doesn't mean it is end.
No, one thing is, on the face value, you might think that you've covered the amount.
Yeah.
So they can't talk.
Yeah.
But internet is now so powerful.
Yeah.
That is why those on the other side are also making a call. And a foreign hand will come in. And I always say that sometimes when you have issue in your house, resolve it. Don't bring any exterior person. For the start, do your best to resolve it until it gets out of hand. Then you bring an exterior person, because you also have different perspective when it comes to how you manage your thing. But this ENDSARS is a call on the leadership, the African leadership, the African youth, to understand that in this 21st century, if you don't do things in the interest of the populace and think that you can have a parochial interest, and generation is going to judge you. They are going to judge you to the point that they will strip you naked. They will name and then shame you. And they will not shame you only to the boundaries of your country. They will shame you to all the borders of the earth. Everyone will see how you're performing. So when you're called into the office of leadership, this ENDSARS is making people understand that you cannot just off light and do things in the dark and think no one is going to see. You cannot shoot someone and think the person's life doesn't matter. Every life matters in your country, from the one who is even in the belly, even to the one who is dying now. So I believe ENDSARS is a good call. It's a good call, but that very thing of also stopping the robbery, there should be an organization that will also stop robbery, that is also in Nigeria. As to whether they will use the normal police people to stop it, I agree to it, but they should also find a way or stopping robbery, stopping corruption, stopping all other sort of needs that goes contrary to the constitution as agreed by the.
Well, you see, that's sorry if I jump in now, but that's quite the point that I was trying to
raise.
Yeah, like, okay, I mean, true, everybody is aware now that something is going on, and true, this SARS is a problem, right? Or maybe the overall system of execution in the state, right? So, call it police or call it whatever, right? But, I mean, now you scale it up quite bigly and say, like, okay, it could be a rise for, or it could be interesting for whole Africa. As Nigeria could be like the key point and it's spreading over the country, everybody is aware of that. But if you do that, I think you need bigger topics, and you need to have, like, you cannot say, like, okay, today the police here is bad, tomorrow the police there is bad. I mean, there needs to be your overall agenda, a bigger idea, and it cannot be like, okay, we take this people from the security and they are bad, and we take this people from this government and they are bad, right? So I'm wondering, like, it needs to have a bigger focus.
That's why the Nigerian youth, we come to conclusion that we want justice to be served pertaining the SARS issue. We don't want it to go bygone. But majorly, we need to restructure the constitution of the country. Because if you restructure the constitution of the country, you restructure the police, the security agency, you restructure the finance, the judiciary, everything, the government, even the political parties, everything, you restructure everything, you make it free and fair. Change of the constitution is not right. Okay, I wanna ask you one thing. If the constitution is not working and the people are not okay with it, then do you expect them to continue living in such condition?
What I would say is that I didn't say that the change of the constitution is not right. What I said, if I'm to put it in context, what I said is that constitutions are living organisms and they grow and they ought to be amended. The amendment comes in with the changes, right?
Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
We are saying the same thing, my brother. We are saying the same thing. But what I'm trying to say is that protest is one of the key things in using it to resolve or to bring grievances, so that those in authorities will know that the constitution ought to be amended. Sure. But those in leadership, if they see the protest as a threat, there comes the challenge. Because protests are not necessarily threats. Protests are a way of bringing out your views or bringing out what you think to the authorities. And in this case, when it comes to Nigeria, those in the authorities, they saw it as a threat in the first case. And that was
interesting enough.
Interesting enough that they saw it as a threat.
They saw it as a threat instead of more like a warning. A warning might not necessarily, it's more like a call for attention. Yeah. Look at me. I'm suffering. And I'm suffering and I'll shout until you look at me. And if there is no evidence that I'm suffering, look at my body. Look at my situation. Look at the clothes that I'm wearing. It's one of the ways that people will understand that if the authority, you have your mind or your eye on a different goal, they are telling you that look at us. We are marching to you. And if you will not even look at us, we are marching on the street. Those who do not even know us can also see it. And I think that if there is the need or the call for the change of some part of the constitution by my brother, it's a right call. But sometimes when you're making a call, you need to know what you want. Need, as one will say, that wants do change. But need is something that is urgent. The protests are made when your need is urgent. Protests are made when your need is urgent. And now what is the need of our brothers in Nigeria? Their need is one, fairness. Their need is respect of life. Their need is that they want to be safe. Their need is that those in authorities should let the resources run down. Their need is that people in authorities should not only be thinking about themselves when it comes to like apart your bad and your partner, like the shade among the gurus. They should let those who voted them into power see that they did the right call by voting them into power. And I think that is the right call by my brother. And if it's done, it's going to help in the development of our whole continent.
Thank you very much for that. I'll quickly come back to you, Jean. Because I would not. I know that the Cameroonian situation is a little bit different from the Nigerian one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can, because we are level countries.
Yeah.
So when your country is safe and is in a very good position, we can also learn from you guys. And so when you have a two neighbor country in chaos, for example, I think this is not good for a region, in any region in the world. I think this is very bad for security purposes or in national security, something like that. But in regards to the Nigerian situation, the protest that has been ongoing in Nigeria, for example, is it idea to base it that it is sounding a clear warning to the African leaders, like you say, that they should be prepared to expect more of this protest, for example, if things are not improved.
Yes, they have to expect it.
Yeah, because we're in the new age.
Not because we are not in the new age, because the Cameroonian population has been educated to accept everything from the government.
Okay.
And for the moment, so far I know, there are some people, the Cameroonian population, doesn't have a long story that could include the fact that the population raised once in their story to get something from the government. Because since Cameroon get a nation, we just had two presidents. Amadou Haijo, he has not been elected democratically, and then after that he left the power. Then Paul Biya came as president. Okay, I don't speak about politics, I will be really careful about it. So anyway, in regard of what happened in Nigeria for the moment,
Exactly.
now the Cameroonian population start to understand, wow, if we're not really satisfied with what happens in our country, we can do like our Nigerian brothers.
Exactly.
And make our government understand that we are unhappy.
Yeah.
It is not forbidden anymore to protest, because in Cameroon, when you protest or criticizing something, it is you can be trapped by you can be trapped by the authorities because it is not accepted.
It is not accepted.
But progressively, people start not to be afraid anymore, and they open their mouth when they just think that what happens to them is not fair.
Okay.
This fear disappears progressively. That is the reason, because as Cameroonian, I am so thankful for Nigeria, because they show us the way to stand up, to improve our country. We are so thankful that Nigeria just did that. Indirectly, they help us. That's what I just wanted to say today.
Yeah, and I'll go back to you a little bit, and I will say that in regards to the protest that has happened in Nigeria, we see a network that has been built that not only Nigeria alone, but is stretched back to the diaspora. For example, London, New York, you have Germany, and when I mean Germany, Düsseldorf, for example, because I was there, Düsseldorf, Berlin, Milan, Roma, you have Austria, Budapest, everywhere there has been a protest of solidarity, people coming together, actually telling the government that they don't want this kind of governance anymore. They want actual change, for example. So can we interpret this as some kind of a new age movement that is emerging gradually in Africa?
Yeah, absolutely, and correct, and it's a nice one because it is a new age movement, and with the pace it's coming with right now, I think it's something that's going to go a long way. The only thing I have to say is that we have to remain steadfast and tenacious in whatever we're doing now. We ambition, because our politicians, I'll tell you, they're operating with the old memorandum of the past. And that's never going to work with this age. And with our union together, we could spread this all to Africa. And it will reduce a lot of chaos in the world. It could reduce migration. It could promote good government, accountability. It could evolve the world into the new age we're talking about. I think Africa is a point. The new age we're talking about is Africa. When Africa gets itself to stability, to a point of stability, I think that's where the world is going to find peace.
Thank you. You want to add something to it, go?
Yeah, I just want to tell you, my brother, what happens in Nigeria is not only something that happens only for Nigeria. It is something that concerns all Africa. Yeah. Nigeria is a great country. I hope that some Nigerians will see this podcast. I just need to express to the Nigerian people that we love them as Cameroonians. Since that the people just raise their voice in Nigeria, the reputation of Nigeria in Cameroon has changed. Because before, Nigerian people was seen in Cameroon as Biafra people. It was negative. Okay. It was a negative way to call them. But now, since Nigerian people start to struggle effectively for their future, yeah, Cameroonians love them.
I'll give you 1 second to say what you want to say. I'll give you 1 second. Say what you want to say.
Okay, that's one. The Cameroonians don't know that, but it's not the point. Yeah. But now Nigeria is really appreciating and loving Cameroon.
That matters a lot. Fine, no problem. We're gradually going to the end of the podcast, but I'm going to put one question through right straight to you, Baseman. Baseman, do you think that, on your own perspective of what you've seen, tell me, do you think that peace, change is imminent in Nigeria? Or after Nigeria, then Africa in general?
I would say the change is not imminent. Okay. But it has been initiated. And that is the most important thing. Every journey begins with one good step. Okay. And the step they've taken is a very good step. And it's a call that has gotten the attention of all those around the world. Yeah. And it's good enough. Now all eyes are on Nigeria. And I will also say that the world that is happening now, we are going to have a world where presidents will not be decided only by the natives. Yeah. We are going to have a world where people are going to choose their own nationality. We are going to have a world where I would even decide that I am an American, I'm a German, I'm a Nigerian, even when I'm not born there. Because this social media is going to be so powerful that even if leadership who are on site do not do the things for those who are with them, then we are also going to have an off-site president. We are going to have an online president of countries. We are going to have an online ministers of countries, and people will be willing to pay taxes on the internet to have a world which is a visual world for them, where they will have everything that they need by just a click.
Yo, guys, we've come to this edition of the ENDSARS video podcast. So what we're saying is that thank you all guys out for the collaborations, for the help that you guys have really helped us get the whole videos together. But according to the reports we get, the ENDSARS project has not really bring some kind of a tremendous change, because we heard in the report that the people who were the champions of those ENDSARS movement has been gradually being rounded up. Most of them has been arrested. More than 300 of them are in jail nationwide in Nigeria. So, but we promise you guys, the diaspora promise you that we will not rest until those people are being released. We continue to do our videos in solidarity and help to the Nigerian people who are fighting for police brutality on a better government. So, like I always say, this channel does not belong to us. It belongs to everyone. So you do not just only comment. You should be part of this channel. I mean, if you're interested in exactly what we're doing and you want to take part in the future debate and other varieties of issues, you're always free to contact us. We're visible in Germany, Italy, Sweden. Also, be part of us, this new channel that is trying to talk about the African issues and the issues that affect us. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next topic.